Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Andrew Dimalanta. I'm a Star Wars competitor in the movie trivia Schmoedown.
Hey everybody, I'm Nicki and I'm married to a Schmoedown competitor in the Star Wars division.
And we want to welcome everybody to the first episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. This is the first time we're doing anything like this.
Hell yeah.
I think we're kind of insane because we're picking maybe the best time and the worst time to start a Schmoedown podcast because we're doing on the biggest event of the year, the Schmoedown Spectacular. This is the fourth spectacular.
And the last event of the year.
And the last event of the year, yeah. So, but like, it's crazy because it's been a crazy year, and I think we're crazy for doing this during spectacular because there's 5 matches.
Yeah, but there's a lot of shit to talk about.
Yeah. Let's just talk about what we thought of the event overall first. Before we get started, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Brian Ward, who did the art for our logo. He does everything for like the Schmoedown and the SEN. Great artist, fantastic artist, and a really cool logo for us. So, so let's just get started with the overall event. What did you think of the event overall?
I thought it was great. Every spectacular is pretty spectacular. I was kind of surprised that what was it? There was 5 matches and 4 of them ended in either a knockout or a TKO.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
I know one of them almost was almost a technical knockout. So I'm surprised I'm actually surprised at how lopsided some of these matches were.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising.
Yeah. So and if you're like big fans like us and the Schmoedown is in your town,
oh my God, go.
Yeah.
You need to see a live event. There's nothing like that energy. It's amazing.
Yeah, we've been to 2
Well, we've been to 2 live events and we've also been to 1 studio taping.
Yeah, so the studio is a unique experience. If you have the opportunity to do that, it's a little different. Is
there a Patreon tier that lets you go to a taping?
Yeah, I think there is. Okay. And I think they're going to be shaking up the tiers next season.
Probably.
But yeah, if you have any opportunity to go to a live event,
absolutely go.
Because watching it on live stream is so you don't get spoiled by anything. I mean, the spoiler ban lifts today. The day that this episode is dropping, the spoiler ban for the spectacular is being lifted. But if you watch live, one of my biggest gripes about the live stream for any live event, this has been for pretty much every live event that we've watched on the stream, is the audio it's so harsh. Because it's understandable. It's like there's only like 3 people monitoring the stream. Now, maybe Thad and the group do an amazing job.
They're fantastic.
They're fantastic. We've met them before. We talked to them Chicago and when we were live in the studio
and in Orlando.
But yeah, that's one of my biggest gripes about the live stream itself. It's just the audio is you can hear the mics being blown out, and obviously the little hiccups during the actual event you get to see live, and if you watch it on the replay, they edit all that stuff out. So, but yeah, overall the event it's spectacular. It's the biggest event of the year. So I thought it went well, but I was just shocked at how lopsided some of these matches were.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and get into the matches. The first match was the
Bibiani and Bateman for the number 1 contender.
Yeah, number 1 contender match, the Ultimate Schmoedown singles final. If for those who don't know, I'm sure if you're listening to this, you're already in the loop with everything Schmoedown related. But like this was supposed to happen in Orlando. It was supposed to happen in our hometown. Yeah, and we got the the Draft Bowl in its place, which the Draft Bowl was supposed to happen at Spectacular.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So what was supposed to happen was the Bibiani Bateman was supposed to be
in Orlando,
the undercard in Orlando.
Yeah,
and then the Draft Bowl was supposed to be the first one that kicked off the spectacular.
Oh, I didn't know
that.
But
since Ben had his back surgery and he couldn't travel, he was under his doctor's orders. Like, you can't travel. I don't know what you're thinking. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And their opportunity for Bibbs was to have a forfeit, and he would go automatically to spectacular. And the sportsman that Bibiani is, he's I don't want to do that.
Not doing it that way.
I'm not doing it that way. I don't want to win that way. In hindsight, you should have done it that way because.
But I mean, in hindsight, yeah.
I mean, but you don't want to win like that. I mean, I've only competed twice, and being in that situation, I would have done the same thing. Like, no, I want to beat the best, and Bateman is one of the best.
One of the best.
So,
and also, if you were to take that, like, Willy Wonka ticket getting in, for free, then there's always going to be people out there. They're your little keyboard warriors, and they're going to be like, well, they just got a free ride.
Yeah.
And, of course, that's why he's there. It's the only reason he's there. So I'm glad that Bibiani didn't do it. It didn't, spoiler alert, didn't go his way.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad that he there's no way he would have just let himself get advanced like that.
Yeah, and just like I think if that would have happened and it would have been a forfeit, I'm sure Bateman would have gotten an automatic number one contender match, because it's not like he did anything wrong. It's just circumstances that he couldn't travel.
Yeah, so, I'm just glad it panned out the way that it did,
because we got a good match regardless. I mean, I think the final score in this match doesn't reflect how close it was.
No, it really doesn't. The final score actually is it almost, if you just look at the score, the final score, you'd be like, wow, what a boring match. Yeah. But it certainly wasn't.
Yeah. So after the first round, I think nobody had a perfect round, did they?
Bibiani had a perfect round, but he missed his bonus question.
Yeah. So it's a perfect without the bonus.
And then round 2, Bateman got new releases. And Bibiani, he originally got movie release dates, but spun away from it and got Pixar.
You gotta.
But either way, it would have been.
Yeah, that second round for Bibiani, I think that's where it started the tide started to shift,
unravel a little bit.
He didn't do terrible, but he had to go to multiple choice for a lot of those.
Yeah, so it's either points. You go with Pixar, where you may not have as much of a strength as you would in other categories, or you do movie release dates where Bateman is just going to crush any opportunity he gets for a steal. Yeah.
So then we go to the betting round, which
the betting round, Bibbs got opponent's choice, and then of course he got hit with movie release dates.
And I don't think Bibbs got that, did he?
I don't remember. Yeah. To be honest,
we've only watched this twice.
Yeah.
So it's 5 matches. 5 rounds each, so it's kind of hard to remember everything.
It was a tie.
Yeah.
It was 13-13 by the end of the betting round. And also in the second round, it was that, slightly people could say it was controversial, that challenge.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was in the remake of What Women Want, What Men Want, what is Allie Davis's profession? And Ben said that she works at an ad agency, and this is not like a direct quote, but works at an ad agency with athletes to help promote their campaigns. The ruling was that it was wrong. Bibiani said entertainment agent. They said wrong, and the answer was sports agent. But Ben challenged it, and they gave it to Ben. What we were watching backstage, and even Rachel Cushing jumped into chat. Rachel was in chat, Bibiani was in chat, and both of them were like, "Yeah, Ben probably should not have gotten that challenge."
Yeah.
But what was that in the second round?
Yeah, and that's what the thing is with challenges is. It's like I think they need like somebody other than the announcers judging this, or have somebody dedicated to like judging not every match, but like have a pool of
a challenge team,
like a challenge team. Because really, what that challenge came down to for the judging, at least, it was Harloff saw the movie and Ellis didn't. So he's like, well, yeah, he's technically right. So and you had nobody else on that challenge.
Yeah.
Saying, yeah, well, we'll look at this way. It was just Harloff saying, yeah, I guess he's right.
It'd be pretty cool if this would be really hard for live events, with people's availability and whatever. But it would be kind of cool if they did have a challenge team that consisted of like current or previous belt holders. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool too. Or retired players that know the game. Because I remember in New York when Dan won the singles title from Irwin, Rachel was a special guest judge that brought her out on stage, and she talked to Ellis and Harloff about, I can't remember what the challenge was, but it's just, they need something like that, because it's just to have somebody that's just 2 people on the desk at the time, like, oh, hey, I think he's right, but you need somebody else, because that whole challenge with the teams tournament with the Paddington 2 and the family.
Oh, yeah.
That I think we're going to be talking that forever, because
oh, yeah.
It's just because technically who was it?
Atchity.
He challenged and lost the match, and even though they were still wrong,
the
family was still wrong, so the Paddington 2 should have won that match. So, but we're not here to talk about past match. We're here to talk about the Spectacular. So,
that brings us away from the third round. It was 13-13. Oh no, my mistake. After round 3, it was 12-16 in Ben's favor. That was after they got movie release dates with opponent's choice. And then the 4th round, the speed round, Ben, he kind of widened the gap a little bit, got to 13-20, because Ben kills it in the speed round.
Yeah, exactly. I think out of all of the matches, I think the speed round is, besides the Star Wars match, I think the speed round is what killed all the challengers.
Yeah. Between the betting round and the speed round, it's like, I
think that's what did all the matches was the betting round really killed all of the challengers.
That's the deciding round, really.
Yeah. And usually in matches like this, it's the speed round that really separates the winner from the loser. Yeah. But in this one, it was the betting round.
Absolutely.
But then we get to the final round, and
the final round,
Bateman doesn't even have to answer a single question.
TKO.
Yeah, that was surprising. I think out of all the matches, Bibb's matches were the closest.
Well, he's a beast.
Yeah, I know.
I guess that's why he got the name.
We should have said this before. We both had Ben going into this.
Oh yeah, we made our picks a couple hours before the match went live, and we were talking about it beforehand. And Andrew made his picks before, because I'm very indecisive. I'm such a Gemini, but I just couldn't. It's so hard to choose. Like Bateman, Bibiani. They're both, I mean, can I say, I don't know. I'm about to say like the bad words, the F word, the fuck word.
You say the fuck word. We're not going to be family friendly. I know the Schmoedown itself is family friendly, but it just like, I doubt kids listen to podcasts. I doubt they have the attention span to listen to podcasts. Like, what are you listening to? But like, we're not going to be family friendly in this
Before
one.
I go and say the fuck word, I see Christian's disappointed face in my mind. But like between Bibiani and Bateman, it is so
it is
fucking hard.
My pick was slightly a little like a heart pick, but my head, but like my gut said like
Bateman.
Like I was like, being a competitor, always listen to your gut. Don't go against your gut. That never brings any competitor a good fortune.
Second guessing
yourself doesn't. So it's like my gut said Bateman, my head said Bibiani, because when we were in LA, Bibiani played 4 times.
Oh my god,
he
on
played
fire.
in the team's final.
The team's final,
and then 3 exhibitions. How do you bet against somebody like that who gets better? He said himself, the more he plays, the better he gets. Yeah, and the free for all is certainly proof of that.
But because when I was making my pick, I was like, oh, my heart says Bateman, but I feel like my gut says Bibiani, and I just couldn't definitively pick one. But I feel like for me, one of the things that pushed Bateman, a little bit higher for me, and it's just so hard to bet against Bibiani. But the thing that kind of gave Ben the edge for me was watching him. He was on SEON Live several times, and the way he talked was just like he already got it. It was, the belt was already his. He was just so sure of himself, and he's just. I personally think Bateman is one of the most dangerous players in all the Schmoedown. His knowledge is expansive. And apart from that, he knows the game so well.
And that's why I picked Bateman, and that's why
not that Bibiani doesn't.
Oh yeah, no. I think based on knowledge alone, Bib should have him. But the Schmoedown has proved it. Like, you can know as much as Bibiani and Irwin and Merle, but if you don't know how to play the game right, like Bateman is the best at this.
He is.
He is by hands down. I think he's the best at doing this. He plays the game even when the game isn't being played.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because like, if you could have an adequate amount of movie knowledge, but in any other division besides the Star Wars division, you can have an adequate amount of knowledge.
Yeah.
In whatever division you're competing in, but if you know how to play the game, like Bateman knows how to play the game, you can eke out some really good wins and go on a really good run.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked Bateman.
And I mean, I don't want to like dwell on this for too long, but not only is his knowledge is amazing, the amount he knows his strategy during the game is amazing because he understands the rules so well. But then he just gets, I don't know, people probably won't admit it, but he gets into people's fucking heads. I think like just those little like side glances he gives during the match, and those little jabs he says during the match.
Exactly, and that's why I say that he plays the game when it's not being played. He, you can see him on Twitter. He'll post something on Twitter. You see him on SEN Live and backstage, and he keeps talking, and like he never really doubts himself because he knows he got it, and that's part of the game.
Yeah,
it's completely part of the game. So yeah, I mean, I was shocked that it was a knockout because and
a technical knockout, but
knockout, but yeah, so
isn't all around spectacular match.
puns. We have puns.
So moving on to the second match.
Do we want to talk about the managers really quick? Or
we could.
Let's get the manager names out of the way.
All of them?
Let's do all of them.
All right.
Just because, we don't want to do all on that. Let's get, so the first.
So we got Coy with the mouthy mercs. Mm-hmm. Cute.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah.
It's cute. Winston with the swag squad, Schmoedown winners, and greatness. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the logo.
The logo is super cool. I like that.
And again, I think Brian Ward did all these logos.
Yeah. Shout out
to him, man. He's awesome. He's a
awesome.
great artist.
Jay, I think I wrote down heroes and villains, but I think it's actually villains and heroes. Yeah. So, love Jay. We haven't spent a huge amount of time with him.
We met him in Chicago. Yeah. And I'm just one thing about this podcast that I want to do. I don't want to just keep it to what happens in the Schmoedown. It's what's really happening. I want to. It's a little bit. This podcast is maybe a little bit more like backstage. We gave hopefully if we get popular enough, we'll have actual people on as guests, and but we're gonna be breaking what it's called kayfabe, whatever it is. Yeah. We'll be doing that. We'll be talking. I want to talk more about the production aspect and just everything that goes into making the show as great as what it is. But
Jay's awesome.
Jay's awesome. We met him in Chicago after I competed in my first match at Celebration, and everyone was going out to lunch, and Kristen Smith and her husband John.
Oh, love them. And Kara.
Yeah, it's adorable. They're yeah, come along. They're we don't want to impose. And Jay just straight up
what the fuck are you talking about?
Get in the car. Get in the car. You competed. You're part of the family now. I'm oh, okay, cool. So, yes, Jay's awesome.
Love Jay. But not really a fan of villains and heroes, if I'm going to be totally honest.
I think he should have stuck with one of the other ones that the Viper. I think he should have went back to Viper Squad. Yeah. To be honest, I think he should have went back to that.
But who knows? Maybe it'll grow on us. Yeah. Roxy. She's got a pretty cool one.
I think
Rock Stars.
Yeah, I think she has the best name out of all of them.
Yeah, that one is perfect. Yeah. There's no other name that I could have ever thought of for her that would be more fitting. Then we got Kaiser, who's just, keeping it 100 with the dungeon, which I'm happy about. I'm really glad he didn't change the name. Mm-hmm. Kaiser is a fucking boss. I love him. Mm-hmm. And then we got Tom Dagnino.
With an awful name. I'm sorry, Tom. I love you, man, but this is a dumb name.
I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it's a dumb name. It's almost kind of that's Dagnino.
I don't know.
The Finstock Exchange. I don't know. Probably not what I would have picked. You somebody had to have been go with Gucci Gang or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. Go, but I bet it's because of copyright. That's probably why.
Or because he's no, fuck that.
Yeah. Tom's going to do Tom, man.
So Tom did Tom and went with the Finstock Exchange. Okay. You know what?
And it's a throwback to Finstock. So
it's a throwback to Finstock. It might, I don't know. It's almost, I don't want to say it's so bad, it's so good. But
that's probably what it is.
It's probably going to grow on me because I just love Dagnino.
That's Dagnino. That's all Dagnino's game. It's so bad, it's good.
Exactly. Emma, also keeping it real with the Fife Club.
And I pointed this out, and I was that's kind of weird that her
at the first reveal the logo
has Slytherin influences.
That means nothing to me. I've never seen Harry Potter.
I know, it doesn't mean anything to me. I just know Slytherin's kind of a bad thing.
I've never seen Harry Potter. I'm sorry,
I'm sorry to all my Schmoedown listeners. This is why I compete in the Schmoedown, the Star Wars division. I think about going to the Intergreedum every once in a while, but then Harry Potter comes up, and I only seen 2 of those movies. I'm sorry.
I've seen 0.
But I know enough that I think has Slytherin influences.
Slytherin's bad.
And Slytherin, I'm sorry to any of the Harry Potter heads out there. I think Slytherin is a bad influence or whatever. But she's going heel apparently.
Apparently, she's going to be besties with Miss Grace. Yeah. Miss Grace Face.
She's her advisor now.
Grace is just too good. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I love her. She's so good. But yeah, so Emma going to be turning heel.
Yeah, Ken's going to be one of her picks.
Oh yeah.
Or Ken.
Yeah. Our boy Ken. Hopefully dipping his toes back into the Star Wars division.
Hopefully. I would love to see him across the desk.
During the match, he was the match we're going to get into with Damon and Kelly, he was saying that Damon basically forced him into retirement, but he might still have a little left in the tank or whatever he said. And I'm oh, hell yeah, Ken. Let's get back into Star Wars.
Yeah.
So once it was revealed that Emma is going to be teaming up with Grace as her advisor, I think is what she called her.
Yeah.
Then, all this shit went down on stage. Shannon came out, Kalinowski's girl, and I guess she is now manager of corruption.
Yeah. I think Grace was revealed as with Emma as her advisor after Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's after that, so.
Yeah. So Shannon's now the manager of corruption. And I'm going to be quite honest, I didn't actually write down Robert Meyer Burnett's team name.
It's an orange is
No, it's
Clockwork Orange
it's
reference.
something Droogs. The Burning Droogs.
I think it's the Burning Droogs.
Something like that.
I might take back my statement of I think Burnett has
I'm not a fan.
The worst. He has the worst team name.
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
But
and then he goes on and
oh my god.
He goes past the light and
in true Robert Meyer Burnett fashion, just turn off the lights.
I'm wondering how much of that was planned and how much of it was just Burnett being Burnett.
In the moment, I thought it was part of it, but then we were listening to SEN and Christian said something about how he was like, "Oh yeah, apparently you could hear me." In the
I think
saying,
that's just him going with it. I honestly think that's just him going with it.
Maybe I don't know. I can't tell reality from not.
But
reality.
those are the 10 facts. Oh no, we missed one.
Oh, then we have the 10th manager, Mr. Sam Levine.
Yeah, and
his team is the usual suspects.
And I'm gonna be quite honest. I was expecting somebody bigger.
I know
all the fuss they did, and it was. I think it was an audible call because I think he was supposed to be announced last, but he got announced before the Star Wars match.
I don't remember
after the Star Wars match. He got announced after the Star Wars match,
but he came out before the last three managers came out, which was weird.
They made a huge just deal about the last managers can be revealed last at the Spectacular. I was like, I mean, and not to say that Levine being a manager isn't big.
No, it's awesome.
He's one of the greats to play the game. First to hold the single and the team's title, and he knows the game. It's just I was expecting somebody like Rachel
or Clark.
At
one point, we thought Brienne might be
but
the 10th manager, but I don't know. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Sam! What if Sam came back?" And I'm like, "Sam's probably busy."
I know, and that's what surprised me too, because I heard on backstage with Harloff that this was a last-minute thing with Levine because he was talking to several other people. To be quite honest, I think he was talking to Rachel and Clark, but I think they both said that they just don't have the time commitment.
Yeah,
but they're going to be on the desk next season as announcers, which I'm happy with. Anytime you can get Clark and Rachel involved with the Schmoedown, it's great because they're two great personalities and competitors to have around the Schmoedown.
Well, Sam's awesome, and he's great on the mic, so he's going to be great.
I'm just curious to how much involvement he's going to, because he was the singles league commissioner this past season, and he wasn't
there a lot.
Yeah, he wasn't there a lot, and they made a joke out of it too with the cutscenes. But yeah, so those are all the managers. Again, I think Roxy has the best team name out of all of them because it's a play on her name, and she has the best team name.
Yeah, that one was pretty perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Finstock Exchange will grow on me.
Again, it's so bad it might just be good. So let's go ahead and get into the second match of the night, which is
Damon versus Kelly for the Star Wars match.
And I'm going to do my best to not have this turn into a rant. Because, just again, a little bit of backstory. We all know how fucking dominant Alex is, and earlier this year he finally got, after 6 years, he got his victory at Dragon Con, which from my understanding is 10 times harder to win. It's everything. It's everything canon. But then me and Laura debuted at Chicago, and then I beat her. I out-edged her by 1 point. But then, of course, Scrimshaw went on and beat me by 2 points,
it was fitting. He deserved that title shot.
He deserved that title shot. And then me and Laura went up against each other, and I got dicked by a ridiculous 5-point
that
question.
Was insane.
I think that's the hardest Star Wars question that has ever been asked.
Well, I mean, when you get it and it's like, I can't pull it.
Yeah.
And then Laura in her post-match interview was like, and I respect the fact that she was like, no, didn't know it.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not like revealing any deep, dark secret here because he said it in a public forum.
Yeah.
Somebody actually asked Damon in the comment section of the YouTube video, did you know that Clone Wars? Yeah. Did you know that answer? And he goes, nope, I didn't know it either.
The first thing he said to me after my match, because we talk back and forth on Twitter and we have our own little DM, the first thing he said to me wasn't like, "Oh man, tough for Rick." It was, "Man, that 5-pointer."
Fuck Clone Wars.
Jesus Christ, that 5-pointer. I'm like, "Did you know it?" And he's like, "Fuck no, I didn't know it."
Well, see, and the thing that just made it heartbreaking for me, and I don't mean to make Andrew relive his that moment,
PTSD.
but we were, I was sitting in the audience in the studio while they were taping that match, obviously, and man, it was just heartbreaking because as they were asking the question, it was like, what was the question? It was in the Clone Wars, Zero the Hutt's most trusted assassin. Okay, and stop there. When they had gotten that far into the question, I saw Andrew's face slightly light up, and I was like, oh, hell yeah.
Because I thought they were going to ask me what is the name of that droid, and I know it. It's Kronos 327. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I know this. I'm going spectacular. But then the question keeps fucking going.
Yeah, and then
he returns from his failed mission from where? I'm like, fuck me, because I'm not gonna I'm not gonna talk about this too much. But long story short, I've done this twice to where I've watched the movies. I'm like, that's interesting, and then I throw the question out because
that's too deep.
That's too deep. They're not gonna go that. I've done that twice. I did that once with the match with Scrimshaw and Damon with Dane Gier.
Yeah,
I made a note of that. I'm like, that's interesting. I was like, no, they're not going to go that deep, and
they did.
And they did. They did. And I did it again with fucking 12th Moon of Yout. I was like, that's interesting. They're not going to go that deep, and that's the one that bit me in the ass.
Yeah.
So
I could go on and on.
Yeah, we can. But let's go ahead and get into this match.
So first round, they both had a perfect round.
Yeah,
and then on the bonus question was, what was the first object that Luke moved with the Force? And Alex got that it was a lightsaber with that, wampa.
Yeah.
And Laura said that it was rocks.
Laura was confusing it with what he was moving on Dagobah. The first object he moves on Dagobah is a rock.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, being a competitor in the Star Wars division, having the questions be the way they are, I understand, you're limited to so many movies. I was shocked that these first round questions
were at the level that they were.
They weren't as difficult as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, because sorry guys, you got a Star Wars competitor right here, so we might belabor this point a little bit more than we should. But you look at the title shot between Scrimshaw and Damon, and they're getting questions about what Danger's.
Well, no, granted, that's in the betting round. In the first round, I believe
the profundity.
Yeah, profundity.
Nirvana.
Yeah,
that's kind of like, oh damn.
Yeah.
What are those words? But then, and I don't want to. I'm not talking shit. I'm not trying to, But I was surprised by the fact that they were asking about, red plum blooms and sabacc.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, this is a
title match.
This is a title match. I understand it being like that, and maybe a number one contender match or in a fatal 5-way at Celebration, because you gotta let them give players opportunity to prove themselves in the first round and stuff like that. But we've proven that Laura knows her stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Alex definitely knows her stuff. But if you want somebody to take down Damon, you can't have softball questions like this.
You're going to be asking 12 minute questions.
You want to make it easier enough for the challenger to get enough points to beat him.
Right.
But the easier you make the questions,
the more powerful he becomes.
The more powerful he becomes. It's just because the easier the questions, Alex is going to get them. So it's just the more questions that the opponent gets right, Alex is definitely get those right. So I don't get. I'm trying to temper.
It was interesting.
I'm trying to temper myself and not make this a rant, but it was surprising that wow, these questions are surprisingly easy. You were getting most of them.
Yeah, when I'm like, oh, well, duh, they play sabacc.
Yeah, exactly.
Who doesn't know that? There was another question too that I was just surprised. I just can't remember what it was. But yeah, I'm not, again, like I said, I'm not talking shit. Yeah. But, when I'm getting some of them, it's kind of like, oh, it's interesting.
This is a title match.
Anyway, second round.
Second round.
So the second round, Laura, she spun episode 2, Attack of the Clones. She did not respin. She kept it and proved to be a good choice because she crushed it.
Yeah.
I think she got every question right. I don't think either of them went to multiple choice.
No. Of
course not.
And if you're going to beat Alex, you don't go to multiple choice. Unless you absolutely have to. But I've told you this before. I don't think I've said this to anybody else but you. But I've been, Laura knows her. It's clear Laura knows Star Wars.
Yeah, of course.
You can't go to a title match without knowing it. But I've been waiting for her knowledge to be really tested, because up until to this point, like she's gotten both of us have gotten easy questions.
Yeah.
I think I just got really unlucky with a Clone Wars question.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. But I was really up until before our match, I've only been there's maybe one question I was like, oh shit, good on her. It was her 5-point question, PC4CO.
Yeah, and then in this one, that Attack of the Clones, that one Jedi Order question, it was like, oh fuck,
oh yeah,
never heard that name before.
That one was like, oh yeah, cool, because like the Jedi Order question with who does Jango Fett shoot, and I would have gone. That was the one question because I was playing along. Obviously, that was the one question I missed.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, no, that was
good on her because she knew it.
Yeah, and then Alex got Heroes and Villains after 2 spins, getting the same thing, and he crushed it. Of course.
I mean, did you even doubt that Alex was going? I was pretty sure Alex wasn't going to miss a single question.
I think he just spun again because it was fun.
Yeah, I think he spun it because it was strategic, because Villains and Heroes is a broad category, and he wanted to narrow it down.
But he
ended up getting it. Yeah, but he crushed it anyways.
So at the end of that round, it was 21-20 in favor of Damon. So he still had that 1 point from the bonus question. And then betting round, Alex spins again, and lo and behold, Heroes and Villains. And I don't remember what the question was.
It was who in Empire Strikes Back, whose call sign is Rogue 4?
Right.
Yeah.
And Alex got Hobby. Well,
he's Hobby Club,
wow.
Yeah.
And he wagered 3 points, got it. Laura, I don't think we actually got a clear shot of what she said.
I don't think she said I didn't get it.
But she bet 2, and so she missed it and lost 2 points.
And this is the round that killed almost all of the challengers.
Oh, yeah.
The betting round is what got everybody.
It's rough.
Yeah.
So by the end of the 3rd round, it was 24-18 in favor of Damon. And then the speed round, gap widened just a little bit by 3 points.
Yeah,
Alex went up by 3.
Yeah, because I think Laura chimed in twice, only got one of her questions right.
Did she miss one and got one?
She
so
missed
it washed.
Got one, and so she washed.
So 27-18 by the end of the betting round. Or
Alex,
the speed round.
I think Alex got two or 3.
And then 5th round, Laura, she nailed all her 2, her 3, and her 5, and it put her over Damon by 1. But then he got his 2-pointer, and it was just
and I think we both said it after the speed round, this is over.
Yeah,
it
was a big hole to dig your way out of.
Yeah, when you get into that situation against any champion, especially Alex Damon.
Yeah,
it's like you're betting you're hoping you get all 5 of your questions to avoid the knockout.
Yeah,
but then you're hoping that he misses all 3 of his last round questions.
That's a tough position to be in.
And we all knew it's like he's not going to miss, and he pitched a perfect game. This is the first time he's had a perfect game. Because I think in his I think the only question he missed with his game against Shrimpshaw was the 3rd round one.
Yeah,
Danger, and the one before that, I can't remember all of them. But yeah, this is the first time he pitched the first perfect game.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's going to take to take down Damon.
Yeah,
you have to be perfect. You can't blink. You can't. That's what the Star Wars division basically boils down to.
Or you just hope he gets a 5-pointer about Clone Wars.
Yeah, and it was funny too because during his post match interview, he's like, "Yeah, I didn't even have time to watch all the movies because of I got to." He does it for a living. He's got to watch everything.
Damn, flexing on us, Alex. I didn't even watch any of the movies.
Well, I don't have time to watch any movies. I have a kid to raise. I hardly have time to watch all the movies, and somehow I studied my ass off, and I still lost.
Our kid can recite some of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that match. I mean, I really hope that we get to see another Star Wars match before Celebration and I understand why.
Yeah,
it's because again the question pool is they say the question pool is too small, but I got news for everybody. Yeah. We haven't even scratched the surface of the level, especially if you want to have this division. Especially at title matches, to have them difficult questions, we haven't even scratched the surface.
No, we're nowhere near running out of Star Wars questions.
And especially with Rise of Skywalker coming out next week. Get excited.
Yeah.
There's plenty of questions.
Yeah.
And Harley even said that he's thinking about putting previous asked questions back into the pool.
That's right.
That's going to help the division out.
That's going to be a big deal, especially for Star Wars with, because there. You could say there is a finite number of questions you can ask. We're just not at the end yet.
Yeah.
But if he does go through with that, saying that it's okay to re-ask old questions, maybe just reworded, that's a big deal because going back and doing your research might be beneficial.
Yeah, exactly.
And watching all the past matches, it might prove beneficial.
And not to give away too much of my game, even though like we went back and we watched all the matches and we took note of what questions got asked, I still put those in my notes because you never know.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm stressing now. It's like before I can easily underestimate my opponents. In my second match, I underestimated the game.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, hell no.
Yeah. So now, moving
match
on.
3 with Shazam, the team title match, Shazam versus the Founding Fathers. Well, I mean, I don't want to skip to the end, but it was a really good match. Yeah,
this was the closest to the match, and we forgot to mention our picks at the beginning, but we both had Damon going into it.
Yes.
But but for this one, we both had
Founding
Fathers, and we can't not talk about this match and talk about the theatrics that they were trying to pull.
Oh my god, yes, because oh my god. Okay, so when
hold my beer.
Oh my god. So like watching SEN, which fucking love SEN, like shout out, love it. So we've been hearing Christian like I don't know a couple days leading up to it or a week or whatever leading up to the match. That Roca was, I don't know if he had bronchitis or whatever, but he was like, he was feeling, it was rough. And leading up to the match, a couple days prior, Christian was on SEN and, I don't know if the team's match is going to happen. Roca's not feeling well, his voice, blah, blah, blah. And at that point, it was like, oh shit, maybe they're going to have to, I don't know, will they defer the match to New York in January? Will they forfeit, blah, blah, blah. And, it was actually like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then the day of the match, Christian and Mike are on stage like, oh no. We'll see if Roca shows up.
They go as far as to have Merle come out by himself and they make a big deal. It's like, oh, Merle wants to take him on by himself. Like, no, you can't do that. So you're going to have to forfeit the titles to Shazam.
Big Daddy Christian coming out and like, oh man, well, no, we're going to strip you of your belt and give it to Shazam.
Yeah.
And, in true wrestling fashion, the lights go out and you hear like that outlaw music. What? John Roca's here?
I think if you know Christian, he's just playing it up for drama.
If it was really up in the air, and it's almost silly to be like arguing this. I fully acknowledge that. But if it was truly up in the air, like, well, I don't know if Roca's coming on, Christian would not be on stage like, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see what fucking happens. Yeah, like he would be on stage pissing in his pants. Like he would have already announced it.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't just be on stage like, I don't know, maybe I'll just text Roca, see how he's feeling.
I think if it was any doubt that Roca wasn't going to do it, they would have called it the night before. It was like, sorry, he can't go.
If he was really, really too sick.
I think he was hitting the tail end of it.
Yeah. Because he wasn't 100%, but he was obviously well enough to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was funny. But it was just so fitting because it's so WWE. Yeah. Just like on stage, I don't know, guys. We'll just have to fucking see. Maybe he'll show up, maybe not.
Yeah. And this was the closest match of the entire night.
Yeah.
So
it was fantastic. So with the first round, it was looking kind of nerve-wracking for the Founding Fathers because both Bibiani and Brendan got perfect rounds. And granted, it was what year was one of the Harry Potter movies released? And Brendan got it.
2004.
I think that was the answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan got it, and Bibiani did not.
Yeah.
But it still put them up. It was 14-17 in favor of Shazam after that round. And then second round, Founding Fathers, they spun Sci-Fi Fantasy on, I believe, their second spin.
Yeah.
And I think they crushed it.
Yeah.
I think they did. I don't remember if they went to like, I didn't take super meticulous notes.
Yeah, but they did really well on that spin.
Yeah. And then Shazam got David Fincher, which, who the fuck is that? Am I right?
This is what I have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm glad
she likes Star Wars.
I don't know why.
At least she likes Star Wars.
Whenever I hear David Fincher, for some reason, I think of David Tennant. Isn't he the guy from like Doctor Who or something? That's who pops into my head anytime we talk about David Fincher. Yeah. I'm the asshole.
Yeah, I think they did fine. They had to go to multiple choice a couple times, I believe.
Yeah. However, they all did well because at the end of round 2, it was a 27-27 tie.
Yeah.
So they did do a good job, both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Betting round, I must have fallen asleep because I don't even have a note for the third round.
I think this is where they fell because, again, I think the betting round is what killed all the challengers.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, not all challengers, everybody that lost the match.
Yes.
This is the betting round is what killed everybody.
It was like the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
It was when things just really started to unravel a little bit.
More than others, but yeah.
And then speed round, I feel like it was kind of back and forth. By the end of the speed round, it was...
You have the speed round, you have to talk about how enthusiastic Brendan Meyer is.
I love his enthusiasm. He was just... he was going bananas on that button. It was great.
Can we have just a buzzer match between Brendan Meyer and somebody else? I don't care who it is. I just want to see him like smash that button like 50 times. It's so good.
Want him to have a button in front of him all match. And anytime he wants to answer, he
doesn't have to
smash
work.
that
Just
button.
have something that he just hits. It's like, I know it.
And then of course you got Roka telling him he's trying to like have sex with the button.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty classic Roka. Yeah. And then everything comes full circle. I think Roka kind of smashed the button a little bit too.
Yeah, and then Ellis
he got himself a piece too.
Yeah, then Ellis comes back and is like, hey, you don't have to sex with the button, Roka.
I love this Schmoedown.
Yeah.
But so after the speed round it was 31-28 in favor of the Founding Fathers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we make it into the 5th round, and then
it was because Brendan got his 2-pointer, right?
Brennan, I believe he got his 2-pointer, and I think Bibiani missed the 3.
Missed 3, and then they both missed the 5.
Yeah, it's just
that was just like, wow,
tragic.
Yeah,
and it resulted in a TKO, 31-30, and Founding Fathers retained their title.
We gotta give it up. First time Roka's ever defended a title.
Yeah,
milestone
reached.
And I speculated before this that if Roka and Merle pulled it out and defended the title, I was gonna call Roka retiring. Because he said he was a guest on Take 3 with Kristen Smith and I'm sorry I can't remember your name, buddy. But shout out to Kristen Smith.
Hell yeah.
But he was a guest on them, and he was saying that like, hey, the only thing that I haven't done that I wanted to do is defend a title. And he was talking about retiring and this. I'm like, oh God, is he gonna retire if he wins the belt?
But then in comes Big Daddy Christian.
Big Daddy Christian just giving it to Roka. It's like, hey man, it's like you think you did everything you want? It's like, yeah, I've done everything I want. What about the Patriots run? It's like, you son of a bitch. He wants to go for that because I love Shire Wolves. I think they're the best team, but you cannot deny the Patriots and that miracle run they went on. Yeah. Defending it like 9 times.
God, I don't remember, but it was a lot. I feel like it was like 6 or something. I don't know. Frankie, shout out Frankie.
Frankie, hit me up on Twitter. Tell me how many times they defended the title. But that Christian is like, hey man, we need the Schmoedown needs Roka. He's the first true personality.
One of the most influential players.
He's the first personality of the Schmoedown. And I told him straight to his face, he's my favorite player out of anybody.
Oh yeah, it was such a pleasant surprise meeting him because I was like, oh, it's Roka. He's gonna be like, who the fuck is this? Get out of my face.
He's gonna be standoffish and it's like no.
He's such a cool guy.
Yeah, just another peek behind the curtain. Like every time we've met somebody, they've completely flipped us.
Not flipped.
Not flipped, but we've had
we had our preconceived Roka, he's the outlaw. He's probably not gonna have time to talk to us. Yeah. But he was super cool.
Yeah. And a perfect example of that is Chance. Shout out to my boy Chance.
Yeah,
we weren't the biggest fans of Chance before Orlando.
I was like, he's just another heel, whatever. But then we met him in Orlando, and Chance is he's super cool.
Yeah, he's super cool because out of all the competitors, we talked to many of the competitors that night. Out of everybody, I sat and talked with him for hours at a time about movies.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's awesome. So shout out to Chance. If he's listening to this, I hope he does.
Yeah.
But
So that was the team's title match. Founding Fathers defended, and they're not retiring. And Dan Merle did not propose to Mara.
Yeah, and he did not. He announced that he's going into Inner Geekdom. Another reason for me not to jump into Inner Geekdom. Can you imagine that division?
They're just going to be the king and queen of Inner Geekdom. Yeah, the two of them.
Because in the division now you have
Smets, Kalinowski. You got Merle and Mara. And then, you got Chandru.
Chandru's no joke. His
belly's rumbling. He's getting a little hungry.
He's getting a little hungry.
Yeah.
And you have Hannah. Hannah's no joke either.
Hannah's no joke either.
That division is so stacked.
Hell yeah.
Before it was like, oh, the teams division is probably like the most stacked division because you have so many great teams coming out of the works and new teams, already established teams. Inner Geekdom is looking really interesting.
It is.
It's going to be so hard to compete. I mean, aside, I'm not tooting my own horn, but the Star Wars division is the hardest to compete in.
Yeah,
hands down. But besides that,
dog in the background flapping her ears. Yeah. Jesus.
Besides that, I think Inner Geekdom is going to be the hardest.
Yeah,
because of with Merle going into the division, that's going to be hard to win in that.
You know, he's Dan Merle. He is like Mount Rushmore level,
and he's a comic book guy. I mean, he doesn't look like it. And if you follow him on Screen Junkies, I think he talks about comic books on the regular. And he's I mean, being in a relationship with Mara, you have to.
It'll be interesting to see how he does. We haven't seen him in an IG match yet, right?
No, but I think every time he gets like an IG topic, I think he does really well in it.
Yeah. Have we ever, speaking of comic books, has Andreyko ever competed in IG?
Nope.
Interesting.
That's very interesting.
Maybe one day he will. So going into the fourth match, Kalinowski and Smets for the IG title.
My boy Smets.
So speaking of our picks,
we both had.
This was another one. Yeah. This was just like Bateman and Bibiani. Yeah. It was hard.
I will admit that this was, out of all of the matches, this was my heart pick. Because I can't, because shout out to the rookie class of this season. It's hard to bet against Kalinowski.
So hard.
But my heart wanted Smets to get this.
He was like caged animal back there.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
You're the dog.
You're the dog. Sorry, Jeez. But like I was like, God, I felt for Smets after he said, "Don't tell Peter." I was like, "Dude, no,
that's rough."
Dude, and he admitted the lights got to him that day.
Yeah,
and the pressure just like it's hard to like, oh, like it's easy to like, oh, you missed that.
Playing from the couch.
Playing from the couch, so you like you missed that. But it's like, if you haven't competed in this on stage or at studio, there's so much rattling in your head that it's easy. Because I'm a prime example of that too. I texted 725 to 1. I knew the answer. I was just, I don't know why I didn't write down to 1. And the second I turned that board around, I'm like, fuck me. Yeah. This is the match, because somebody like Laura, that's the match. But thankfully it didn't come down to that. But anyways, back to the IG match.
But it's so hard to bet against Kalinowski, who, again, shout out, because he's another competitor that he's just like, he's so legendary in the Schmoedown that it was like, oh, he's not going to want to say, he's not going to want to talk to me and say hi. But he was so nice,
cool,
so
cool.
sweet.
Because up to that point, like he was one of those competitors, so I was like, fuck you, Kalinowski. I don't like you.
Love to hate him.
You're probably a good guy, but I can't. I don't like you because it's just you're coming in. You're competing in all the divisions. You're talking all this shit. Yeah. But then we meet him in Orlando.
He's just so cool, and Shannon too. She was so sweet.
Yeah. And they have some of the best social like videos for the Schmoedown.
Oh my god, those were great. I loved seeing those. I'm glad that she's gotten more involved, and she's going to be very involved now as manager. But I'm really glad.
Talking to her, we're like, oh, so you're going to be the manager? She's like, I don't know.
Probably not.
And this is after like a couple of drinks too. We're all like having fun at the bar.
Yeah.
And like, and she's like, I don't know. Maybe
I don't know. We never know what happened.
But she's the manager of corruption now.
So with Kalinowski versus Smets, we both picked Smets.
Yeah.
It was a tough decision. Not so much for Andrew, but I found it really hard to make the decision. But we picked Smets first round, perfect round, Smets. And I think he didn't. I don't think he missed any questions.
He is another one that had a perfect match
for the whole game.
This was the match, like going in. I'm like, this is gonna be the match of the night.
Could have been the title match, like the main match.
Yeah, because Christian was saying that he was going back and forth. Should I make this
the main event?
The main event, because just the storyline alone of Kalinowski versus Smets is amazing. And this is the match I was like, this is gonna go to fucking like sudden death, because these two are just so good. And this was the one that I was like completely shocked, blown away of how it went down. I'm like, holy shit.
Absolutely. Because Smets was, he was up after that first round, especially because of that bonus question with the perfect round. Oh, yeah. With the second round, 13-24, Smets, that gap just in the second round.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what topics what categories they spun. I didn't write it down. I guess I was just getting kind of lazy. Yeah. But 13-24 Smets. That's just a huge gap. Yeah. And before the match even started, like when they were coming out and doing their promos, whatever, I feel like you could just tell on Mike's face.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
It wasn't his night.
It wasn't his night. He didn't seem like he was himself. I don't know. I could be just talking on my ass.
Player exhaustion.
Yeah, maybe Christian mentioned that he thought maybe he was burnt out.
Yeah. And that's
just tired, but he just didn't seem like himself, at least not his Schmoedown self.
I think that's what it was. I think he was just done. He competed in all, besides the Star Wars division, he competed in everything.
He had a hell of a year. Mikey two belts.
Yeah. I mean, and he just came off of a loss against Founding Fathers, losing
crushing loss. Yeah.
Yeah, crushing loss in Orlando that we got to see live. And this is probably something I'm never going to experience because Star Wars division.
No.
2 matches a year. But yeah, he competed in so many matches, and it was just like Rachel. Just got burnt out. I mean,
it's gonna
wear on you. I mean, just because like this isn't a physical sport. This is I think being mentally exhausted is far worse than just being physically exhausted because it's like I don't know how you come back from that.
But I feel like you could just tell.
Yeah.
Like from the minute he was walking out, that it was just like, oh no. So second round, 13-24, moving on to the betting round.
Yep.
The gap, it widened a little bit.
Yeah.
It was 16-26 in favor of Smets after the betting round.
Yeah, I think Smets played it safe in the third round.
Yeah.
Just to be sure that he would keep his lead.
And then, I don't know if this was the final score, but 18-29 was Smets.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
With the knockout.
We could be wrong, but yeah.
I could be wrong because I don't know why I didn't even write down the fifth round.
This is, I'm saying again, I did not see this coming. I did not see Kyle Nelson getting knocked out. Not a technical knockout. A straight up knockout.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, wait. Maybe I didn't write down the fifth round because it was a knockout. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, it's early.
It's early here on the East Coast. Saturday morning.
So,
Baby's sleeping.
KO, I guess, in the fourth round. They didn't even make it to the last round, which is just shocking. But
that's crazy.
I just think Mike needs to rest, and this is not the end for him.
Yeah, I honestly think since he's on with a team with Chance, I think he should limit it to two.
Yeah, maybe he spread himself a little thin.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And just to hear that, because we talked to him in Orlando, he said he was thinking about jumping into the Star Wars division,
which I would love to see.
But honestly, like Mike, I love you, man, but don't do it.
I don't want him to be too exhausted.
If you're serious about like being a champion in multiple divisions, keep it to like 2.
Yeah.
Because to get it in all 3, I mean, the closest person, I think the closest one to ever have done this is Rachel.
Yes.
Because, and I'm saying it right now, fight me if you want to, I think Rachel is the best to play the game.
Yeah.
She is. I think she is. To compete in all 3 divisions, besides the Star Wars division, is one thing. But to go to a title match in every single one, you have to be a special player to do that. And Rachel is my goat. I mean, no disrespect to Dan Murrell.
Yeah, and she doesn't think that she can compete in Star Wars. I think
if she buckles down.
I mean, she might not take the title, but she would definitely put up a fight.
Especially if you debut in a 5-way. Yeah, playing in both a 5-way and a head-to-head so much harder.
Yeah.
It's so much harder than a 5-way. I mean, it looks daunting. You're going up against 4 other people. It's like, well, there's more opportunities for steals in the second round, and things like that. But like, yeah, head-to-head's way harder than a multiple person match.
But yeah, Smets took it, and now he's the IG champ.
IG champ. I mean, he's
gonna go see Mara in New York.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good match. But that just still looking forward to that one. Like, does Mara have it in her? Because she's been out of it for a while.
Might have some ring rust. Who knows?
I know. We saw it with Merle. We saw it with Riley. They both haven't competed in a while. And they both lost a guy.
It happens to the best of them.
Happens to the best of them, man. I mean, granted, she's in a relationship with Dan Merle. So
then moving on to the last match, the title for singles between Bateman and Aoyama.
Yeah, this one
was rough.
This one was rough. We've seen some rough singles championship matches.
Yeah,
no disrespect to Harloff, no disrespect to Levine, but that match was rough to watch. This one was, I think this is the roughest one to ever watch, because
surprising.
Yeah,
and it's just one thing that Andrew had mentioned, that it's part of the game, but just wondering if this was a factor. Like, Spectacular is a long event.
Yeah, like,
and Aoyama's just kind of chilling backstage for like, I don't know, 10 hours while everybody else is playing their matches.
And they had the
The managers are coming out talking for like fucking 45 minutes each.
The expo, you had to do the expo, so you're probably
yeah.
tired from the expo. But like just sitting all night long, just waiting for that has to be just like weigh on you. And you just watched Bateman knock out one of the best to play the game. That had to be something on his head too. I mean,
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean,
it was rough.
It looked promising after the first round. Like both of the competitors missed a couple here and there. I mean, it's like, okay, this is gonna be a pretty good match. But then you get to that second round.
That was Aoyama.
Sorry, before we go any further, we both had Bateman.
Oh yeah,
we both had Bateman.
We both picked Bateman. Yeah. But going into that second round, I think Aoyama went first because Bateman was up, right? So he let Aoyama go first.
Yeah.
And Aoyama spun classics, if I'm not mistaken.
A supposed strength of his.
And the thing that just shocked me, like I know that this is his rookie year.
Yeah.
But he still knows the game well enough. The thing that surprised me, and I know I'm speaking from backseat playing over here.
You know the game just as well as I do.
I'm surprised that he didn't go to multiple choice. Did he go to multiple choice at all?
Well, he went once because he knew he was getting down and he needed some kind of points to make up for all these misses. But yeah, I'm shocked he didn't go to multiple choice either.
And it was also surprising, and love Ben, but it was surprising that Ben didn't really pick up more steals. That was really surprising.
Yeah.
It was the whole match. I mean, it was just very shocking, very surprising.
It was very surprising because like it's a strength of his, but then I think he's just trying to. I'm not saying that he was trying to like show how big his dick was or anything like that. I think he was thinking in his head, Ben's coming off this amazing win over Bibiani. I need to not make up as much ground, but widen the gap as much as possible.
Yeah, and
get as many points as I can. And I think this was a strategic thing of his. The thinking, I need to get as many points as possible.
Like not going to multiple choice.
Yeah, not going to multiple choice.
Probably.
And it just bit him in the ass. It's like, oh, well, in hindsight, you should have gone to multiple choice because then you probably would have made it to the fifth. Because, because he goes to the betting round and he bet 2 or something.
God, I don't remember.
But he doesn't get a question right in the betting round. And then Bateman just
the speed round, Bateman crushes at the speed round.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, and minus this one again, the betting round was what killed all the losers. This one was over after the first round.
It really was because I think that we realized that Aoyama didn't actually get a question right once the first round was over.
He I don't know what it was. He didn't get a single question right after the first round.
And Ben, who knows if Ben got to him? Because I know at one point when Aoyama missed a question at one point. And Ben just like yells into the mic like, "This is your champion!" And it's like, "Oh my god!"
Playing the game, man. That's part of the game.
So good. He's too good.
He's too good.
But after that speed round, what is that one?
Oh, it was the one that the only question that
Gizmo. Who did they ask about?
It was the only question that Aoyama buzzed in on, and it was in Gremlins. What kind of creature is Gizmo? And he buzzes in and says, a gremlin.
I mean, that's what I would have answered.
No, he's a mogwai.
Well,
he's a mogwai, and that's what did him in. I mean, God, not a knockout. Rough. There's so many knockouts in this event.
Aoyama knew. You could just see it on his face.
Yeah,
he knew.
Mean, it was not his night. I mean, and this is his first loss in the singles. Like, regardless of him losing the title in that fashion, he's still Rookie of the Year in my eyes.
Absolutely, or at least a very strong contender.
A very strong contender. I mean, people might say that Smets has a run for Rookie of the Year, or Brendan Meyer might have one.
Oh, yeah.
In my eyes, Aoyama, you don't go in and go
undefeated for a vast majority of the season.
Yeah, and you beat Merle for the title. It's not like you're beating some Joe Schmo.
Some other rookie.
Yeah, some other rookie that got lucky and got the title. You beat, to a lot of people think is the greatest to play this game.
Absolutely.
For the singles.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's big. And it's to be honest, I just don't think it was his night.
Well, yeah, obviously. It was not his night.
Whether he was in his own head or whatever it was, it just wasn't his night. And I, regardless of this loss and how crushing it was to lose in that fashion, he's still Rookie of the Year. Yeah. And he's lost twice in the league. Once on teams and once in singles. So I don't think it's any doubt that he's Rookie of the Year.
And now you look at Dagny and his horsemen, and they are just
that team
dripping in gold.
The Finstock Exchange is rich. It's rich, ladies and gentlemen. We got puns.
We got it.
Man, yeah, just going into the next season, he's got the horsemen behind him, and he doesn't have to pick till the 5th round. and he has that steal from the draft bowl. So he's
all of his players are protected.
Yeah, I have no idea what the prize is for next year for the winning team, but he's the favorite going into next season to win it.
He's too good. I mean, a lot of people, they think that all Dagny does is just spew nonsense. And granted, sure he does. Yeah. But he's a fantastic manager.
He's a lock for the manager. This match is what made it.
He is manager of the year. Like, if he doesn't win it, it will be a travesty. Yeah. And in my opinion, it's Dagnino, absolutely manager of the year. Second place, very close, Kaiser. Which is insane because he's a rookie manager.
Yeah, and that's shout out to Kaiser, man. You know where I am. We've been talking, man. Me and your boy Smets. 99% sure I'm going to the dungeon, but we'll see. But yeah, like the singles match, the main event was what was going to decide it for manager of the year. If Aoyama pulled it out, it's Kaiser because IG champ is Smets.
Yeah, he took two rookies and got them both to have a belt.
But
that didn't happen.
Bateman won. Two of the titles are in his faction. He's gonna this is the third time he's gonna win manager of the year.
I mean, and his team has a team's title. One of his single competitors has a singles title, and he himself won that fucking Orlando match, which was amazing. So glad we were there for that.
I'm so glad we were there for that.
But he is absolutely manager of the year.
Oh yeah,
100%.
There's no doubt.
Next year? No,
we don't know.
I don't know.
But he's going into the 2020 season looking very good.
Oh, he's stacked.
He is stacked.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then wasn't it after all the managers were revealed, all the matches were over. Mm-hmm. There was that video with Andrew Guy.
Yeah. Because after the singles title match, I think the last 3 managers were revealed.
Yeah, it was. I think so. It was.
Oh no! Well, no, that was before
that.
It was before that, but then
I don't know. I didn't put it in my notes. God, I'm such an idiot.
No. I think what you're about to talk about happened after. It was after Burnett had gone on that rant.
Yeah. So Burnett went on his fucking rant as he does, and then there was a video that popped on screen. Oh my God, what's happening up here? What's this video that's about to play?
Oh my God.
And Andrew Guy gets on the screen, and he had just been coming off of that Family versus Shazam match, where at the end he shocked the world by announcing his retirement. And we were, of course, in the studio for that one, and I remember like in the I was like, what? No,
you broke my heart.
You're breaking my heart.
Oh God, please don't. No. Oh God.
But yeah, it was.
You're better than this.
It was a shocking moment, and I was pretty upset because I was like, man, because it seemed
like in the moment.
I don't know. Well, and also I'm not 100% sure if that was something Christian was aware of, and he's just playing it off like he wasn't or whatever. But it was real to me. So in the moment, it was like, oh no, fuck no. God. The league needs Andrew Guy. Yeah. He is too good.
Yeah, besides Roca, he's probably the most influential character in the entire Schmoedown.
I really think that between Bateman and Guy, I'm just going to fucking say it. I think between Guy and Bateman, they defined what a heel is.
Yeah.
I mean, you had your Roca and your whoever else, but Kalinowski maybe could be,
Yeah, Kalinowski's another.
But team action, Andrew and Ben.
More so, Guy.
Well, Guy just
goes off. You need Andrew Guy to make it interesting.
Hell yeah. So he announced his retirement. I was heartbroken. And then, we get to the end of the spectacular and his video just starts playing, and he's, sitting in some I don't fucking know, some tropical
or his porch. he brought his office chair out there.
And he's talking about how Robert Meyer Burnett basically abandoned him, and he announced his retirement. Robert Meyer Burnett doesn't even care. It's such a fucking long name. Yeah. Burnett.
Just call him Burnett.
Burnett doesn't care, and he makes it all about himself, and that's just true Burnett. That's R&B. Yeah. And he said that I think he was talking about how he doesn't want to let McQueenie down, and that they're gonna come back and they're gonna, you're gonna see what you lost out on, Burnett. We gonna come back and we gonna win it all. So basically, Guy came back and was like, I'm back, bitches.
Yeah, and
he pulled a Favre.
Yeah, he pulled a Favre. It wasn't a very long retirement.
Nope.
And they're one of the protected teams. I think they are.
They're
in the top 5.
Yeah.
And not to spoil anything for anybody, but if you're paying attention, we know what the undercard is for New York. If you watch Backstage and SEN on the regular like we do, do you not know what the undercard is?
Oh, I guess I'm not paying attention.
If you pay close attention to what Kirsten's been saying. So the main event in New York, the debut of next season is Mara versus Smash for the IG title.
Yeah.
The undercard will be the loser was supposed to be the loser of the team tournament versus Corruption for a number 1 contender match.
Oh.
So the person because Corruption gets a number 1 contender match because they lost the titles.
Oh.
And the loser of the tournament gets a chance at a number 1 contender match because they made it to the final. And that team happens to be the family. So it's going to be the family versus Corruption. I'm like 85% sure that's going to be the undercard in New York.
It'll be a good one.
That's going to be a good one.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I mean, McQueenie's hungry for it because
he technically never lost the belt.
I know.
He was just,
under the circumstances.
He just got it taken away, unfortunately. And it just broke my heart. In that, after the family and Shazam, when Andrew was saying he was retiring, it like broke my heart when McQueenie made that comment about like, man, I just keep losing my my teammates. I guess it's something I got to work on. I'm like, I want to give you a hug because it's not you.
Well, he doesn't have to now. He's got his teammate back.
Hell yeah.
They're gonna be a top team to contend for.
Hell yeah. Well, season. I'm hoping Andrew comes back in full Andrew Guy fashion, which I know he will because there's no way he can't.
Do you think he makes a face turn? Or
I hope he doesn't.
At the very least, like an anti-face.
I'm still not sure what that means.
So there's faces and there's heels.
I think you said like Kevin Smith is like an anti-face.
Kevin Smith is an anti-face.
Yeah.
Like people might look at Kaiser as a heel. He's an anti-face.
Yeah.
Kalinowski's bordering on an anti-face.
I don't know. I love Andrew Guy as a heel. I really hope he doesn't go face because that would just be like, oh man, wow. What?
Yeah, what's going on with the action?
Like that one match when Team Action came out with their moms.
What's going on? This is what?
That was amazing.
What?
See, I like that kind of thing. Yeah. Like where you just kind of.
And then when you lose, you just like rip off
you guys.
Fuck you guys. I really wish that Schmoedown wasn't a family friendly show.
I know. I miss
Andrew Guy dropping F-bombs.
I miss Andrew Guy dropping F-bombs. Why he's just a beautiful eagle that just soars when you let him just be himself. Don't clip those wings. But I get why they do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Guy's coming back and. Damn, we got a couple knockouts, a couple TKOs.
Yeah, If Laura didn't pull it out the last second or the fifth round, she would have been knocked out as well.
And that would have been crazy if every match ended in a knockout or a TKO. But such is life. Yeah. But yeah, man,
that was spectacular. It was a great event.
So don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with my time until January 11th.
Well, we have the exhibition matches still because we haven't watched any of the exhibition.
That's very true.
But we were there for alive for a lot of them.
Yeah,
but so I'm sure we forgot what happened.
But not like I'm gonna now rewatch them.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff, and we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about with the draft coming up, and awards, nominations, and things like that we'll be talking to. So you join us every Monday that these episodes will be dropping for Beyond the Schmoedown. So as we wrap it up here, where can they find you online, Nicki?
Oh God. I wasn't prepared for this question.
First episode, ladies and gentlemen. First episode.
I'm on Twitter. I don't remember how many fucking.
I really should have prepared you for this. I'm sorry.
I'm on Twitter.
Let's try this again. Take two. We'll cut this.
Because I got a lot of.
We'll do it in the post.
I got a lot of extra letters in my name.
So where can they find you online?
So on Twitter, I'm at Dimmy DIMMMYYY because. Just regular Dimmy, DIMMY. Somebody had it. Some D bag. So yeah, I'm Dimmy with 3 M's and 3 Y's on Twitter.
Yeah, follow her for afternoons charts.
Hell yeah, the afternoons.
She's infamous for that. As for me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. You can find this podcast on any of the streaming services, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Spotify,
Anchor, especially on Anchor. You can also find this on my YouTube page. If you're listening on YouTube, please like, subscribe. We've been doing this every Monday. Do Star Wars videos, a bunch of other skits and visual effects, videography. I'm a videographer by day, so if you want any tips on that, subscribe to the channel. Give us a like. You can just find us on YouTube at www.videosmanager.com. And so until next time, we don't have a closer, so we're just going to...
Oh, how embarrassing.
How embarrassing. See you guys next week.